Find out how to get a 50% discount on our revolutionary service when you use promo code CLEAN. Gain control of your personal information and your online reputation today at myreputation.com, promo code CLEAN.
Being green is easy, and cleaning green is easy too, with concentrated all-purpose Simple Green. Now more than ever, it's important to choose cleaning products that are safe for you, your family, and the environment. For floors that are squeaky clean and safe, here's a quick tip. Make a simple solution of 1 ounce of Simple Green and 1 quart of water, and lightly spray on hard floors like tile, laminate, or linoleum. Wipe or mop away with a clean damp cloth or sponge and let dry. This green cleaning tip is brought to you by Simple Green. Visit simplegreen.com for more green cleaning tips and to learn more about the Simple Green family of products.
Hey, it's Jim Norton. I'll be in the Chicago area Friday and Saturday, March 12th and 13th. I'll be doing Zanies in St. Charles and Zanies in Vernon Hills on that Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, March 24th, one show only. I'm doing a benefit at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick. It's myself, Jim Florentine, Otto and George, Don Jameson, and more. Go to thestressfactory.com. And Thursday through Saturday, April 1, 2, and 3, I'll finally be back in Rochester at the Comedy Club. And last but not least, Thursday through Saturday, April 22 through 24, Marco Island, Florida, Off the Hook Comedy Club.
The virus is an XL channel which may contain explicit language. Channel blocking is available by calling 1-800-XM-RADIO or for XM Canada, 877-438-9677.
Sirius 197, XM 202, The Virus. The Ron and Fez show starts right now.
I don't even know how you can make that mistake. What in the hell would House of Pain have to do with Hurt Locker? I'm not going to be a Hurt Locker in a House of Pain. It's just ridiculous. Hey, it's the Ron and Fez show. 866-RON-0-FEZ. 866-RON-0-FEZ. Unbelievable opening today. We got to start it with Argent. Argent, God gave rock and roll to you. Hickson, you couldn't be more right. It is true. We got rock and roll, and people are like, where did we get this? God. That's who gave it to us. All right, the Ron and Fez show with some open phones today. 866-RON-0-FEZ. 866-RON-0-FEZ. We did the big Oscar live show here last night. We were the official radio show of the Oscars. The Oscars came to us and said people weren't into it. We kicked it all up a notch. Now, it looks like the reviews are pretty bad on the Oscar telecast. In particular, Steve Martin, one of our most beloved comics, and Alec Baldwin, one of our most beloved actors. And the reason I think, Fez, is those guys weren't a fucking team. They weren't working as a team. They kind of got thrown in there together. There was a lot of jokes written, and they kind of split up the jokes.
Yeah, it just got a little too, I think, like, in a process where it was just rapid fire. It was quick joke. And I noticed this, I kind of went back and looked at some of it. People were reacting with applause to the jokes instead of laughter.
Well, that's what happens. That's West Coast comedy, where it's not so much we're laughing, but we get your reference. There was always the thing of, the Tonight Show audience has a tendency to do that. Like, we're here, we're seeing a TV show live. They just said something I recognize, I'm going to applaud. But they never relax in it. I know George Carlin would never do his HBO specials from the West Coast because they just paid too much attention to being a television audience. He talked about that before. All right, Ron and Fez show. Let's get this out of the way. Ted in Georgia, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, I'd just like to congratulate Sandra Bullock on her much-deserved Oscar.
Sandra Bullock, Fezzy, you picked this as, a long time ago, as your nemesis.
Yes.
And she just swept in and apparently was the feel-good story of the night.
I just hate the fact that everyone was buying into her down-homey act that she was doing.
But you act like that's new. That has been her act since the early 90s. She's the girl next door. She's America's sweetheart. She is what Julia Roberts used to be, Sandra Bullock, America's sweetheart.
Ronnie, she took it to new levels of ridiculousness. Like right before the Oscars, one of the things she said is, I'm fine knowing that I'm not thin. Now you're standing there, in the same company as Monique and Precious, and you're and you're trying to convince people that you're not thin.
I kind of missed that.
It's just ridiculous what she pulled off.
Well, she pulled off the victory, Fez.
And she looked hideous last night. I thought, at least I have that much going for me. Just how bad her makeup and dress looked.
I wasn't aware of that. She didn't look well?
No. She actually looked sickly. Like she had crawled out of a hospital bed, smeared some bright red paint on her face, and tried to make it to the Oscar ceremony.
I liked that she thanked her mom for not letting her ride around with boys and do bad things when she was younger. And that's what I actually tried to point out to our intern, Paulie. Paulie came up here. He's staying in New York, but he's become the party girl of New York. The whole point was, I want to get here and break in the radio. And any kind of extra stuff, hey, can we get Paulie? Paulie's drunk. Does Paulie want to do this? He would. He's just really drunk. Hicks, do you see him as a young Hicks right now?
He's heading there because he's just getting hammered in fucking Brooklyn all the time.
All right, that's sad.
It's bad.
Well, the Brooklyn thing is so hip, though. I give him all the credit for that.
I also see Hicks actually as an old Paulie.
Okay.
That's the way I see it.
All right. We can go either way with that. Hicks, what was the high point for you of the Oscar award last night?
Probably Jeff Bridges winning. That was probably the coolest part. Everything else. I hate the Hurt Locker, so I was just pissed once they started winning and it was over.
I did not hate the Hurt Locker.
I turned it off.
I was one of the people, and I caught it on Dave's screener, but I had to stand straight up watching that. I found it to be a very tense movie. Of course, Catherine Bigelow brought it home for the women. But the fact that it wasn't a woman's movie, and I don't think anything that she's done has kind of been like a woman's movie. She's kind of an action director. I kind of felt bad for her that she had to start carrying the woman's flag when I didn't think she was all that comfortable with it. The show, by the way, started off so awful with the Doogie Howser thing. And it's such a step back that we're making. And I brought this up last night when we were live, that Billy Crystal used to parody this stuff that in the last 2 years we're back to doing, the cheesy song and dance bullshit, that it makes it kind of an embarrassing show. They used to do this stuff in the 1930s and the 1940s with really talented people. Doogie Howser would not be singing and dancing back in the days when you could sing and dance. He's not that good. If anything, he's a little uncomfortable. He's like watching Hollywood's nephew come out and do some fucking bullshit dance at his own bar mitzvah. Here's Garth in Indiana. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, fellas. Just want to say great show last night.
Oh, thanks. We always have an Oscar party.
Yeah, it's great as always. Highlight for me was your line about Miley Cyrus possibly becoming the newest attendee at the compound.
Well, she's very slowly and on her schedule becoming fuckable. And I don't think she's legal yet, is she?
No.
No.
All right. Last night she surprised me. I always thought she was a little annoying girl, but she's actually we're going from little girls to little women. It's starting to happen. Let's go over to Eastside Dave McDonald. Highlight for you last night.
Christoph Waltz. I just needed Inglourious Basterds to win something, as that and The Cove were my favorite movies of the year.
Well, I forget what was the first in the long of many, many award shows, but I remember being very excited back then for Christoph Waltz when he won, and of course for Jeff Bridges when he won. But now the fact that those guys had won 12 leading up to the Oscars, they've taken away that sense of, if anything, you're like, well, I thought that was going to happen, or a mild feeling of relief. Here's something the Oscars are taking a gigantic hit on right now, is the fact that in their people who died, their Jim Carroll part of the show, they forgot a one-time America's sweetheart, Farrah Fawcett. And it's a really strange thing that they would have missed this, because at one time she was the Bradgelina. Farrah Fawcett and Ryan O'Neal were that couple. in the late 70s, kind of early 80s. Wherever they went, paparazzi were there. Whatever they did was in the gossip columns. They were bigger than life, and to have been forgotten. Now, I realize she was more of a TV star than a movie star, but she had still done movies. I think she needed to be there.
I think a bigger omission in that was they missed B. Arthur. They didn't put B. Arthur in the in memoriam.
What movie is B. Arthur known for?
Her big one was Mame, the movie version.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was her big movie. But, I mean, 70 years in show business.
Right. And B. Arthur, it wouldn't have hurt them to take a second out. But I see her because she kind of, you get elderly. She's more known for TV. It just seemed like the Farrah Fawcett thing. And this is the second time she got blown off because she was stupid enough to die the same day as Michael Jackson, even though she had the death watch going on for so long, and Michael Jackson didn't. But you would have thought Ryan O'Neal would have had it in the back of his head, hey, make sure you do something nice. You need any pictures of Farrah? I got it for you. They were, of course, little Tatum O'Neal was an Oscar winner. It seemed like they were such a big show business family for so long. Let's turn to New Hollywood and G-Baby. G-Baby.
Hey, what's up, buddies?
Did you love the Oscars last night?
I hated them a lot, and I usually find something to laugh about at that show. I drank as much as I could to try to enjoy that show, and it was just did nothing for me. No, even the surprises were boring. Like the screenplays going to, Precious and Hurt Locker were sort of upset, and even that, who cares? It was just.
Yeah, it was very surprising not to see Jason Reitman win after he'd been winning everything leading up to that point. But do you feel like from a show business point of view, with the Doogie Howser dancing, it already got us off into a bad step?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I guess some of the one-liners that, Martin and Baldwin did at the beginning were okay. Yeah. But, I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, I was howling at Jon Stewart, and this was just totally crap. I mean, I guess the best thing for me was I kind of like the John Hughes tribute. Was kind of at least
I thought that was pretty strong too.
Yeah, but I think I read somewhere that was just them trying to appease younger viewers. With the younger, hipper movies that came out 25 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you're really trying. Their idea of younger viewers now are 40, 45-year-old people. I don't know whether the show makes any sense anymore because there's so many shows leading up to it. That's the real problem.
And if you're going to nominate 10 movies, like the thing when we've been talking about it, and you guys have been talking about it forever, then you give it to the movie that, I don't think the lead, Hurt Locker, which nobody has seen. Is it deserving? Okay, fine, I'll give you that. But nobody's seen it. Then you give it. That's the whole point, was to get nominate movies that people had seen, and there were some in there, but I don't know. The whole thing was just a mess.
Yeah,
terrible show.
Yeah, it was. And Fez even brought up it was a gaudy stage. It looked tacky. Yeah. It was just any way you went around this. All right, G-Baby, it's good to talk to you, buddy.
You too. Have a good week.
Peace.
I think with those 10 movies, and to draw in people that, were glad to see things like District 9 and Up nominated, I think you're just pissing them off when they realize, they tune in thinking maybe one of those movies has a chance, and then it doesn't happen.
But I don't even think that was the case last night. I don't think that there was a gigantic amount of people really pulling for District 9. Up won the animated award. That's plenty. I just don't think it's that big a deal. Wayne in Virginia, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. Listen, I'm really fucking tired of Michael Jackson. It's bullshit.
He's dead
on the screen there, but yet, you're right. Farrah Fawcett wasn't on. And another thing, Fezzy, I'm sorry, I disagree with you. Sandra Bullock looks good. And I don't think she looked like a clown last night.
But by the way, Michael Jackson did belong up there because he was in The Wiz.
Yeah, but he was in The Wiz, but she also did Logan's Run.
No, I get it. Farrah Fawcett should have been there, and Fez brought up to B. Arthur. She was in Mame. She deserved to be there, too. It's not that fucking difficult. You could Google celebrity deaths in 2009 and have it taken care of. It's somebody's job to make sure everybody gets a little mention, and just do it.
See, they're probably going to come out today or tomorrow and apologize. The Academy, oh, we overlooked them, blah, blah,
They
blah.
fucked up.
But it had to be done on purpose. It was too Farrah Fawcett especially was too big of a death.
Well,
not to be.
But when the guy last night said called in and said they forgot Farrah Fawcett, somebody called us right away. I had to sit there and go, wait, was that last year? Like, I fucking get confused with that too. I don't think anyone's going out of their way to try to hurt B. Arthur and Farrah Fawcett's families. I think they just fucked up. People make stupid mistakes, and you shouldn't. You got one night a year to make this happen. Do it correct. But I don't think it was like Farrah Fawcett. She doesn't belong on there. She's stupid. Dan, Florida, Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, buddies.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see Judd Nelson last night during the John Hughes tribute? Man, he looked like total shit. I could barely recognize that guy. He looked fucking awful. And
well, here's the thing. And this happens when a guy disappears. He looks his age. He looks like anybody that you went to high school with, except for you want to keep him at 19 years old.
None of the Brat Packers really looked great last night.
I thought the one girl did, the weird girl.
Ali Sheedy?
Yeah, I thought Ali Sheedy looked good. But I didn't focus all that much. I think that we were getting search, hurry up and search questions together. Here is Pat. Pat, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie?
What do you say, bud?
It was that horror montage was just atrocious last night. They show clips from Leprechaun, but don't show a single thing from Night of the Living Dead. And they do a tribute to Roger Corman, and the only film of his they showed a piece from was from Little Shop of Horrors. The guy made 200 horror movies in his career.
Yeah, I don't understand what happens and how they put those clips, and it's always going to go back to being Jaws for horror. And one of the things that we never understand is what exactly makes something a horror film. And Fez, you thought it was what?
I thought it was the amount of slashing that actually goes on.
But you had to remember, slasher films in the terms of film are still pretty new. You know what I mean? Like, we had horror films for like 60 years before you had the first slasher film. So I always thought that a horror film meant there had to be something otherworldly involved. A ghost, a monster, a possession, and that the other films are kind of murder films. Now, you've got some of the slasher films that people have extra powers, but some of, the other, or else you're really just looking at a psycho killer film, like Jeffrey Dahmer. He'll slash people, but I don't know if I would call that straight horror. What's horror for you, Dave?
Well, see, to me, it's a mental state. If you're mentally frightened, then it is horror. So I actually would classify Dahmer or...
Then I would put Precious as a fucking horror film.
Well, no, I mean, like actual, violence and physically scary acts have to be taking place. So that, and then you combine the fact that you are, mentally horrified. Like, I was horrified during Silence of the Lambs. I was horrified. So that would be a horror movie to me.
All right. And I think that does put in horror, but I would almost call that suspense.
See, I see a Patriot Games as suspense. With Jack Ryan, A Hunt for October, action movies that are a little smart just to be qualified as action movies.
That makes suspense for you. All right.
Yeah.
Ben, North Carolina, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yes, sir, Ronnie. I was wondering if you had any insight on why George Clooney looked so pissed off at Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin.
What happens is they go, what bits can we do? They all know each other, and then they do it that way. And they're going, maybe there'll be a rube somewhere who will believe us.
And I'm the rube.
Get some cotton candy, have a balloon, and walk to Midway. Have a great day. Want to thank a couple people, of course, last night for our big 202 Friends Twitter party. Salute to the Oscars. Number one, the good guys at Crunch Gear, who always give us the nice plug when we do anything. I believe they give us a plug if we do anything having to do with the internet or Dave going crazy. Crunch Gear is always very good to us. And we didn't bring this up last night, and we should. A real pal to the show, Fred from Brooklyn, did not do his podcast because we were on Sunday night. Fred from Brooklyn, classy act.
Nice. Very nice.
Classy act. Let's go to our pal Jimmy James. Jimmy James, you're on Ron and Fez.
Morning, boys.
Yeah.
Hey, I just kind of wanted to back Ron up with the difference between a horror and the suspense genre. Is you can't be able to kill the main villain by ordinary means.
There is something otherworldly there. Now, some of the slasher films have that, Fez. Some of the slasher films, like Friday the 13th, we stabbed him, no, he's sitting back up. That's more important than the slashing, in my opinion, in terms of horror. How the hell are you supposed to kill this? Now, when you look at Jaws, it kind of goes back and forth between suspense and horror, because after a while you're like, that's not a fucking ordinary shark. How is he following us? Did our own bad karma bring that shark here? So Jaws is on the line, but as they go along, it gets to be, there's something fucking weird about that shark. What is he doing following us to the Bahamas? This is no good. Here's Shane. Shane in Texas. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, Ronnie B. I don't know if it was me or not, but did you notice Jeff Bridges kind of looks like he's got meth mouth, like he's been out on the ranch just tweaking on meth and playing the guitar?
Don't make you a bad person, Shane. Let's not judge. I mean, a lot of people are there drinking. I don't see anybody pointing at them. If Jeff Bridges thinks to himself, I need a little meth to make it through tonight, I'm not going to deny him. His father was in Sea Hunt. His brother's really got to feel like shit today, probably. Like, what about me? I got there first, and the whole world loves my little brother. All right, Ron and Fez show. Davey Mack, I know you came in with us late last night. You didn't get back to Jersey till late. What's on your mind this morning?
Okay, well, actually, Ben Roethlisberger has now been accused of sexual assault by a young woman in Georgia. The alleged incident occurred early on Sunday morning in a club in Milledgeville, and the alleged victim, who has been interviewed by police, was treated at a local hospital and released.
This is what gets to me about this. This is the second time for Ben. Not a... And why would she be treated? What happened to her? Fucking trying to twist her tit off?
Details are a little bit vague, but Ben had a private room. He had like an offensive lineman there, a couple pals, and there was anywhere between 5 and 20 chicks who were just going and leaving. And she said that he sexually assaulted her, or grabbed her tits or something like that.
The odd thing about this, of course, a lot of people bringing up, well, Ben, this is his second time, and these athletes and celebrities are victims to this sometimes. I never saw this happen to Kiss. You know what I mean? I never saw this happen to Warren Beatty. Never happened to Mick Jagger. It's just starting to be a little too much smoke here, Ben Roethlisberger. You need to chill the fuck out when you're partying and party with the right women.
Well, I kind of think, though, he's now in Michael Irvin territory.
Right.
Which actually I think, though, Michael Irvin might be into the pot heavily, but all the chicks who always accuse him, the cases always get dismissed because they're always they're always unfounded.
I understand, but it doesn't happen to a lot of other guys.
No, but
if it happens once, you're going to be like, "Well, that's weird. Let's look into this." But if it keeps coming up, and again, there's a lot of celebrities out there who fucking party harder than this fucking guy, and no one accuses them.
See, I don't think that once the one girl who has dropped her actual lawsuit, her criminal investigation's over, but she has a civil lawsuit. So I think that this other girl, this new girl now says, oh, there's a woman who has a civil lawsuit against Roethlisberger. Here he is. He's in the club. I'm in the club. I'll go for a civil lawsuit.
So you think as soon as you start paying off people,
exactly,
now he looks like easy money.
Exactly.
At a certain point, you got to say to yourself, though, I'm going to fucking stay home and get fucked up. Right. I'm going to meet some other broad, bring her back to my house, maybe videotape the whole occasion. You got to take care of your fucking self, Roethlisberger. You're supposed to be a quarterback. You got to be a thinking man.
I think he's Big Ben, doesn't know his own strength. He's coming on too strong with these women. He's grabbing, and it's going to catch up to him eventually. I think there's something to this.
these things have caught up to him. He's constantly finding himself in these deals. I mean, the fucking time to worry is now.
Well, I mean, but he had, he surrounded himself with 4 or 5 guys who were there, who were his witnesses. Like how?
Maybe he needs some new friends.
How are these women always getting, one of those guys eventually is going to say, no, you know what, Roethlisberger did go after this chick. He did fucking injure this woman. It just seems all too easy.
He's got to start and party at his own fucking house.
I think it's odd that it happened so soon again right after the other one. You said that they dropped the criminal case? Maybe he thinks he's untouchable Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, all he's got to do
Two-time champion.
All he's got to do is look at how many times he got sacked last fucking couple seasons.
He gets hit a lot. It's enough already. Go after someone else. I mean, you got a couple Manning brothers that the girls could go after.
All right, Davy Mack has now found himself, in your own problem. We played the stuff from Davy Mack screwing up the Twitter awards. And if anything, Fez gave him a little shit about that.
Right. He rushed the stage at the Shorty Awards for Twitter, and I said, Dave, you're going to end up in trouble. These aren't all going to have happy endings, and you're going to end up shit out of luck.
Happy endings, you mean someone masturbating his cock and then him ejaculating?
No, where he gets away with it.
Well, CNN brought this up on Friday, and Dave, you TiVo'd this yourself off of CNN?
Yes.
And Rick Sanchez was the young hustler out there. He was the person that you interrupted. He was the host of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So this took place on his show on CNN?
It was on Rick Sanchez's show, which is actually called Rick's List.
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own little thing.
And he apparently doesn't like you so much.
No, Rick Sanchez has...
Well, Friday you told us you think that CNN is out to get you as a network.
I just personally believe that it's too many coincidences that CNN keeps keeping me off the air.
Yeah.
They don't have my name on the air. They don't like me. They want me to get off the airwaves. And it keeps happening over and over again.
All right, let's just judge this. And again, I don't know how the audio quality is going to be because it's Dave taping his...
Well, we have better quality if you want that.
No, I like the one with you on it because I like the fact that we can see your face as we get going on this. But this is Rick's List on Friday about 4 o'clock Eastern time, I think. This took place. Rick's List on the CNN show. And this is the show all the kids are watching. The kids enjoy this program.
Yeah, this is it.
All right.
Lists that we put up for you. I have been asked again to host the Twitter Awards, which are essentially called the Shorties, where people from all over the world get the awards for putting out the best tweets in the politics and entertainment, in everything, even up to weirdness.
And it's called Shorty Awards because your Twitter entry is short.
It's short, right? And because you have to put it in 140 characters. Exactly. So. Okay. Here I am at the Shorty Awards.
You had a moment, didn't you?
And I had a moment. Well, I thought I was on a roll and I was doing fine, but then all of a sudden some freak jumped up on stage. Let's do it. The Shorty Award in the weird category goes to a fictitious tweeting llama. No! That tells its followers.
I tweet! The llama! That's weird! I'm gonna drink your water, CNN! I'm gonna ruin your microphone!
Nice reaction, Sanchez.
I had to
Way
say
to handle that.
something.
What do you
I had
think?
to say
Break dances on stage?
for a moment, I felt a little bit like he was entering my space, and it started to bother me, but I didn't want to overreact. Well,
you know, a little cozy with you.
You know, when you grow up as a kid, like in the barrio kind of thing,
Yeah.
and somebody does something like that, usually you punch their lights out.
Did it take everything for you?